The top two teams in the Southern Conference battle for playoff spots as Eastern Florida tries to keep a hot streak alive against their rivals from Indian River. Live from the Titans softball complex on Eastern Florida's Melbourne campus, it's the Titans and the Pioneers next. It is a blustery day for some softball here on the Space Coast. A good day nonetheless. The Titans facing their rivals from down I-95, the Indian River Pioneers. Good afternoon and welcome everybody. Alongside Daniel Chiarelli, I'm Jeff Radcliffe. Thanks for joining us for Titans softball here on WEFS. And look, Daniel, there's 8 games to play in the regular season. A lot of things on the line tonight for Eastern Florida.
Yes, Jeff, this is a massive matchup between these two teams. Both teams coming in over 500 and the season series tied at 3 games apiece. But the Titans have been a thorn in the Indian River side, handing them 3 of their 4 conference losses this season. The Titans are 6-2 in their last 8 games and have moved into second in the conference, with the top 2 teams going to the state tournament.
Let's look at some of the players to watch in this affair. And Shelby Pettick, the head coach for Eastern Florida, says Deja Torcia is fast as all get out.
Yeah,
that's a quote.
That last name really packs a punch. If you don't watch out, she'll torch you. She is 4th in the conference with 33 stolen bases, batting .350 on the season. And like I mentioned, for the Pioneers, once she gets on base, she's going to look to get into a scoring position.
Well, the Titans' Kayla Damone has more stolen bases, but is more the table setter for this Titans team.
Yeah, Damone does it all for the Titans. She's second on the team in both batting average and doubles, and she leads the team in hits, triples, and stolen bases. So the Pioneers definitely have to watch out when she steps into the batter's box.
Well, Bridget Dunham will lead things off for Indian River State College. She is the first baseman. Deja Torcia, who we just talked about, will start in left field. The 3-hole hitter, Raylan Rowland, is the shortstop. Cleanup is Cassidy Crump, the second baseman. Don't see that one every day. Nicolette Luzzi, number 25, is the third baseman. She will bat 5th. Batting 6th is Taylor Roten, who also is a pitcher, but she'll start in right field today. Megan Branch is the catcher, batting 7th. The designated player is Macy Stanfield, and batting at the bottom of the order in 9th is Kyla Nair. She is the center fielder. So I mentioned it is a bit windy today here in Melbourne. A wind going, the sea breeze kind of coming off the coast and blowing left to right out to right field as we call it. Could certainly affect things today for the outfielders.
Yeah, definitely have to keep their eye on the ball. Bit of overcast conditions, so the sun isn't playing as much of an impact into getting in their eyes or things like that. But as you mentioned, the wind blowing pretty strongly. I see the flag out in right field going from left to right. So those left-handed hitters also might have a couple issues getting that ball to travel pretty far today.
The Pioneers, the visitors, they'll be in the dark uniforms. You see them huddling up behind their head coach, Dale Atkinson. Dale Atkinson, kind of the dean of coaches around these parts. He's now in his 23rd season, Martin County High School grad, 1975, and FSCAA Hall of Famer, 2-time, in fact, Coach of the Year in the state. He's coached 28 All-Americans as well. Shelby Pettick on the other side. This is her first year, but she's really trying to put a stamp on her program.
Yeah, she a very youthful program at that this year, but she comes in, as I mentioned at the top, over 500. The team sits at 22 wins and 20 losses. They catch themselves second in the conference, which is absolutely perfect for them going into the playoff hunt.
And playing their best softball at the most important time of the year. Here's a look at the defensive setup here for the Titans. Trinity Howard will be pitching today. We'll talk about her in a second. Rachel Lamoureux is serving as the battery mate, the catcher. Victoria Vasquez is at first. Alyssa Tassi at second. Courtney Stout third. Brooke Thiessen is the third baseman. Left to right across the outfield, Molly Reed, Kayla Damone, and Caitlyn Wilson. And a really good defensive team. Here are the umpires. Percy Wilson will call the balls and strikes. Charles Smith will be out on the diamond. Well, here's Trinity Howard. Tell us a little bit about here. Like she's a player that is coming off some major surgery, and when we talked with Shelby Pettick ahead of the game, she's pretty much over that entire issue now. She's got a curveball, screwball, changeup, and throws hard.
Yeah, she's definitely rounding into form as we get into the late stages of the season. She works inside out, and if she gets her screwball going early, that'll definitely mean trouble for the Pioneers. She gets a lot of ground outs with her pitching style, and she's looking to have another dominant performance today.
Coming back from that preseason elbow injury. Had a rough start in her last outing against South Florida. It was a 5-1 loss, but she is 1-2 against Indian River. Had a complete game 2-hit shutout back on April 11th. And in the previous outing on the 16th of March, she lost 1-0. So had a really, really good outing, just didn't get any run support. So she has been able to figure out this, one of the best hitting teams and best pitching teams in the state. The Pioneers, Dale Atkinson there, they are ranked number 6 in the state coming in, despite maybe the form where they've lost 3 or 4. They had a 7-game win streak prior to that, though. Indian River on the road 8-4 this season, and the Titans 10-6 at home. We're trying to make this complex a fortress as we get set for our first batter. It'll be Bridget Dunham. And she'll take a strike on the outside corner. The first baseman out of Margate, Florida, Coral Springs Charter.
Ball.
Takes outside a ball, batting .341 on the season.
Work it, 2-5, work it, baby!
1-1 from Trinity. Chopped foul.
As we mentioned at the jump, Trinity Howard definitely wants to get off to a great start here, show her good stuff in the first couple batters, and as I mentioned, she really relies on those ground outs, getting the hitter to hit the ball into the dirt and allow her infield to make a play.
2 strikes.
Indian River hitting .309 currently as a team. They were .325 2 weeks ago when they were set to face the Titans. So
Ball.
been figured out a little bit by opposing pitchers as of late.
2
So
balls, 2 strikes.
Coach Atkinson shaking up the lineup a little bit.
Dunham looked like she was showing bunt right there on that pitch. Not sure if it was just for that at-bat. Oh, showing it again.
The 2-2. And a bit of a half swing, gobbled up by Tassi at second, quickly on to first to Vasquez, and there's quickly one away.
There's that first ground out like we were talking about, getting the hitter to hit it low into the dirt, allow her infield to make a play. Great play there by the second baseman to get the first out of the inning.
4-3 on the putout, and here's Deja Torcia. Talk about somebody who can just kind of get it down the line in a hurry. Doesn't need to get much on it to have enough time to get to first, and she will take a strike. Torcia out of Palm Beach Gardens. Played at Dwyer. You're a South Florida guy. You know the powerhouse of that whole program can be at times.
Absolutely.
The 0-1.
Ball.
Hits the outside corner, but just misses. Howard Valrico.
Ball.
Side of ball. Hitter Torcia.
Trinity Howard showing a bunch of different pitches early on. Got to get the batters a little bit uncomfortable there in the batter's box, not be too predictable.
2-1.
Boom.
Faked the bunt, pulled it back, and takes the ball. 2-2. Top of the first.
2 balls.
Teams have played 6, and they're 3-3 against one another this season. And offers it that one. It's the first strikeout for Trinity Howard.
Great pitch from Howard there, getting Torcia swinging and missing. Do you want to quell this Indian River offense? Getting her out quick and early is definitely a priority for
And
them.
it's big to keep her off the base paths, too, where she can do some damage. In steps Raylan Rowland with 2 away.
Boom.
Rowland playing shortstop position today, takes a strike. Out of Davenport, Florida. Just south of Orlando on I-4.
Ball.
And is ahead of the count 2-0. Rowland batting .333 this season. Does have 6 home runs. So a really quick bat.
Ball.
Inside a ball, and don't think for a second that Trinity Howard doesn't know her prowess hitting the balls over the fence. Has to come in now, put in play. Picked up by Thiessen, over to first, in time, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Trinity Howard and the Titans.
Another ground
No
out
hits,
there.
no errors, yeah.
Another
That-
ground
like
out.
you said.
You know, doing what scouting report said. Nice pitch down low, getting the third baseman to make the assist and the play over to first. And as you mentioned, a quick 1-2-3 inning. Kind of just what they scripted.
If you could script it, that's the way you want it. Yeah, 1-2-3 anyway. Now, chance for the Titans to come to the plate. Damone will lead things off here in the bottom of the first. Brooke Thiessen bats second. Mackenzie Four third. The right fielder, Caitlyn Wilson, is the cleanup hitter. Molly Reed bats fifth. She's the left fielder. Victoria Vasquez, the first baseman, will bat sixth. Bottom of the order is Alyssa Tassi, the catcher, Rachel Lamoureux, and Courtney Stout. We'll try to turn that order over once they get to her. Defensively for the Pioneers, Devin Ryan is the pitcher. She'll be pitching to Megan Branch behind the dish. Bridget Dunham's the first baseman. Cassidy Crump at second. Raylan Rowland at shortstop. Nicolette Luzzy, the third baseman. Torsia is out in left field. Kyla Nyer is a center fielder. And Taylor Roten will usually either be a right fielder or a pitcher. Today she starts in right field. We may see her later. Starts a lot of games inside that circle. Devon will face Ryan, who's from Kitchener, Ontario. 8-2 this season, 0.53 ERA. That is best in the state.
Ball.
So it will take a big effort here from this batting order to get some runs across today.
Just looking down at the stat sheet, that ERA almost pops out, makes you scratch your head. .53 ERA in 16 appearances. That's very, very impressive.
Comes on in relief, has 2 saves, and she'll suffer a base knock on the very first hit. Damone on the board with a single to lead things off in the bottom of the first.
Yeah, Damone, as we mentioned at the top, does everything for this Titans team. Getting on base on the very first at-bat, definitely jump-starting the offense, showing why she is the table setter for this team.
Thiessen comes in with a .427 average on a 3-game hit streak out of Claremont Eastridge, which is a softball powerhouse if you follow it in high school softball. Where UCF star Kaylee Novak came out of that school.
Damone has 39 stolen bases on the season. Definitely keep an eye out for
Yes.
her. Trying to take second here.
She's third in the state, by the way. And there she goes. And she is in there safe. So she's now has 40 stolen bases. That's the most in 2 decades here at Eastern Florida.
You just see how important she is to this team. Getting in scoring position early, no outs, bottom of the first inning. Only the second batter the pitcher has faced, and Titans are already threatening.
Runner in scoring position now for Thiessen, who does have 18 RBIs. Will foul that one out of play to the right. Ryan, 7 innings pitched,
1 ball,
4
2
hits,
strikes.
no earned runs, a complete game, 3-1 win last Wednesday when each of these teams last played. That was against Miami-Dade for Indian River. And she is behind in the count here to Thiessen, 1-2.
Yes, 2-2.
2-2. Okay, we're corrected. Love having the mic there on Percy Wilson. Contact, but out of play again. stay 2-2.
You can see a lot of action on the ball. I don't know if pitcher Devin Ryan is really is used to this much action early in a game. Quite dominant, so it's great on the Titans to get the bat on the ball even though it's going foul.
A piece right into the dugout, heads up. Mackenzie 4 is on deck.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Back-to-back Oviedo High School alums in this lineup for Eastern Florida.
Ball.
Oh, off speed, takes a ball. And the count runs full.
3-2. I've been trying to give it to him.
I love the chatter.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Ball.
Takes low, and there's a walk to put 2 on. And that brings up Mackenzie 4.
Thiessen showing a lot of patience there in the batter's box, not getting too excited, trying to get over a pitch that isn't the best. She now has 16 walks on the season, so it just shows her eye in the batter's box.
You want to talk about a dangerous batter here. 9 doubles, 23 RBIs, 3 home runs for Foray. Batting .337, bloops it to second. This will move the runners over. As good as a sacrifice. Foray's retired. There's 1 away, but runners at second and third.
Now batting number 16, Caitlyn Wilson.
Steps Caitlyn Wilson, another former Oviedo Lion. Transfer from Daytona State, though. Batting .306,
ball.
takes it outside a ball. Hitless in her last 2, but had a 4-game hit streak prior.
And she's also 4th on the team with 15 RBIs. Add a couple more to her stat total right now would be huge for the Titans.
Shoots this. Settling under is the right fielder, Roten, and everybody will stay where they're at. So second and third now 2 out. Wilson's retired on the fly out to right field.
Number 6, Molly Reed.
Be a missed opportunity. You get 2 on with no out. Such is life playing against Indian River, though, and one of the best pitching staffs in the state, and that's going to be gobbled up nicely by Crump on to first to retire the side. 4-3 it goes. A hit, a walk, and 2 runners left, and after 1, Eastern Florida 0, Indian River 0.
My name is Matthew Natali. I'm currently a student here at Eastern Florida State College, and I'm currently in the Social and Human Services program. I always wanted to be in this type of industry. Eastern Florida State offered that opportunity, whether it's through an AS degree and the certification program. Because I was changing jobs and careers, it gave me the best access to do so and with the best resources possible.
Back in Melbourne, Jeff Radcliffe here with Daniel Chiarelli. Eastern Florida, as we mentioned in the Open, has gotten the better of the top team in the conference the last 3 meetings. And when you talk with Shelby Pettick, she always talks about how spunky this team is. They will battle to the very end, and that has kind of willed them to some wins that maybe earlier in the season they wouldn't have gotten.
Yeah, as I mentioned, a very youthful team. She always says never count out our team, even if we're down 2 or 3 runs going into the 6th or 7th inning. We have that fight, we have that drive, we have that never give up mentality, and that's always great to see.
Absolutely right. Down the line, foul ball. Crump would have had extra bases there. It's Crump, Lizzie, and Roten bat here in top of the second. Crump out of Coconut Creek, Florida, Coral Springs Charter. She is a Flagler College commit. Sophomore, batting .342. Things off against Trinity Howard here in the second.
Ball.
Interesting strategy here from the Pioneers. We see both in the top of the first and now in the top of the second. Nobody on in the first batter, shows bunt, just trying to get someone on base, trying to get that offense clicking.
These teams know how to get around the base paths. Inside, ball 2. Crump does have a run to go with 31 RBIs. Off that, all 3. The appeal down to Charles Smith, a no-go.
Crump has only struck out 5 times this season, and going in late into the season, that definitely shows her eye in the batter's box, knowing the difference between balls and strikes, when to swing, when to hold off.
You just forget about it. If you're trying to strike her out, and she got all of that one. Luckily for Eastern Florida, it is foul. So a quick turn there from Crump. Went 1 for 4 with 2 runs, an RBI, and a stolen base in the 13-5 win against Eastern Florida back on the 26th of March. And she'll draw the walk, and after seeing that last foul ball, that may not be a bad idea. So 1 aboard for the first time here for the Pioneers, who come in 29-13, 14-4 in conference play. 3 of those 4 losses have come to Eastern Florida. The other to Miami-Dade. Nicolette Lozzie-Salern, third baseman out of West Caldwell, New Jersey. Takes the ball.
He is second on the team with 4 home runs, another big bat, kind of right in the middle of the orders where you want them.
4 and 5, right? At first, Crump does have 22 stolen bases.
Oh, dead.
Dead ball. After the hit by pitch, and now 2 were aboard and none out. So just like the bottom of the first for Eastern Florida, a quick start to the inning here. And it's really hasn't been earned. It's been a walk and now a hit batsman.
He was showing bunt as well. Got the ball a little low right in the shin area. He'll take first off that. And all of a sudden, the Pioneers got 2 aboard, no outs.
Quick trip out to the circle from Lamoureux. See how the Titans play this. Speedy runners on the base paths. Crump with 22 stolen bases. Lozzie with 18. And a batter with 23 RBIs. There in the batter's box from the right side. Side of ball. So having trouble finding the plate here this inning for Trinity.
You could see the defensive setup from the Titans, both the first and third baseman, coming in real quickly before the pitch is even at the catcher, trying to protect from that bunt situation.
We'll try to get it down, pull it back. Stealing third is going to be Crump, and now there's runners on the corners and nobody out.
Swing.
And that's a 2-0 count to Roten.
2-ball count.
You mentioned how dangerous the speed is of this Pioneer team. Once they're on base, try to avoid something here.
high, ball 3. And we'll just concede second base on that throw to third.
We got 3 balls.
Smart play right there. Takes away the force out at second base.
3 ball count.
Second and third, nobody out.
Woo!
Takes a strike. 3-1. He's got to get the first out here.
Work it here, 2-5. Work it here, baby.
Wrote out of Greenwood, Delaware. Batting 284.
Woo!
Takes another strike.
Great to see Trinity Howard come back from a 3-0 count for 2 great strikes down the middle. Let's see if she can complete it.
We
Get the
got
put out.
3 balls, 2 strikes.
Get it here.
Foul and alive. Count remains full. Went 2 for 2, 2 runs, 2 RBIs, 2 stolen bases in that 13-5 win on 26th.
Let's go, let's go.
After the foul ball off the foot, we'll take this pitch and offer at it, put it foul the other side, out of play.
Turning into quite the lengthy at bat with both bases being stolen, a couple foul balls, now a full count. He's going to win this battle.
2 strikes.
Come on.
Gets a good piece of that one and sends it into the bullpen foul ball. Turned on it quick. She can open this game up with one solid swing of the bat here. Does not have a home run, but does have 23 ribbies.
Win it here, 2-5. Let's go.
Ball.
And takes a ball, and both bases are loaded on 2 walks and a hit by pitch. I think if you're Coach Pettick, you want to make them earn it at least. Megan Branch steps in now. Adding 7th in the order out of Winter Haven, Lake Region High. Redshirt sophomore. Do a lot of damage here, and will take a strike.
Yeah, Megan Branch, another big bat in this lineup. She already has 3 home runs on the season, which is 3rd for the Pioneers. The dangerous situation for the Titans here with her in the batter's box and the bases loaded, no outs.
Yeah, I can't underscore that one enough. You got your 7-hole hitter with 3 home runs. Inside, just got the inside corner. So Howard is starting to come to life.
Okay, 2 strikes, one.
Comes the 0-2. Put in play. It's Tassi at second. Gets the force out at second, but the run in the form of Cassidy Crump scores. So it's a 1-0 ball game.
Didn't seem to have the right time to make the double play, but at least they got 1 out on second with the force out. Runner did make it home. Megan Branch's 18th RBI on the season gives the Pioneers an early lead.
Runners on the corners in the form of Luzzy and Branch. This is Macy Stanfield, the 8-hole hitter. Fouls that one out of the batter's box. Stanfield out of Soddy Daisy, Tennessee. Sounds like a place I'd like to visit. Batting .310. 2 RBI, so she can add to that total with a good swing of the bat here. 1-1.
Still one out, so not exactly a hit and run situation for the Pioneers. Look for the Titans, try to get Morse out somewhere or a pop out.
Again to Tassi. Morse at second, trying to turn the double play, cannot. The run scores. So Luzzy is in for the second run of the game. Another fielder's choice. We've got 2 away.
Yeah, an almost identical swing and hit as the last play we saw. This time, second baseman tries to make the attempt to make the double play. Just short, and another run scores for the Pioneers. 2-0 here at the top of the second.
Wrote there at first. As Kyla Nair is retired on another ground out. So 2 runs on really no hits. They were all fielder's choices and walks. But it's a 2-0 lead for the Pioneers. We go to the bottom half of the inning. Now, a 2-0 game here for Indian River, and now playing from behind. And this is a place where, Shelby Pettick and her team are comfortable. You'd rather be ahead or even, but this is a team that's proven time and time again that a 2-0 lead is not safe.
Absolutely. Getting that offense going, whether it's in the first couple innings or the end of the game, really doesn't matter for this team. Once they get rolling, they really string together runs at a time. And as you mentioned, this team's really never out of the game. And a bunch of those comeback wins earlier in the season helped establish confidence for this young team. And she sees a maturity process as the season's gone on. As we mentioned, they're 2 games above 500 going into the last stretch of the regular season. So even though it's 2-0 here early, a couple runs, we're right back into this thing.
There's Victoria Vasquez, the powerful walk-up music. Vasquez, the first baseman, takes the ball. Victoria out of Coral Springs. Batting 208. Weakly chopped to the pitcher. Should be an easy throw to first. It is. So 1-3 on the putout for Vasquez, and that brings up Alyssa Tassi.
Great reaction by the pitcher, Devin Ryan, not letting that ball go past her or fumbling it or something like that. Real calm, getting it over to first base for the first out.
Tassi right up the road from Mims. Coming to Eastern Florida by way of Columbia International University. She's batting .357. And pops that one out at first. So 2 away quickly here in the home half of the second.
Now batting number 33, Rachel Lamoureux.
Catcher Taylor Lamoureux come in from the left side of the plate here. Lakewood Ranch in Sarasota batting .258. 2 for 5, a run, stolen base. That 11-7 win over against South Florida on Wednesday. Does have a hit in 4 of the last 5 games, so it's kind of on a bit of a roll. Trying to get it this inning going. Ryan has certainly settled in. A little shaky there with some control in the first, giving up a hit and a walk to lead it off, but relied on the defense behind her. Was unscathed. Lamoureux takes a strike on the outside corner.
2 quick outs here in the bottom of the second. Want to get some action going, as you mentioned. Stop stop Brian from kind of getting in the groove, because it seems like this season, once she kind of settles in, it's almost unhittable with that .58 ERA.
Yeah. They're not going to let any runs across. Now, while their batting average, the Pioneers, has went south. Their ERA has done the same thing, but that's a good trend. Right now, this Indian River team, as far as their team ERA, is stellar. It's 2.14. That is top 3 in the state.
Ball.
And a ball.
As you mentioned, with that ERA coming down, you don't have to rely so much on their offense. Simply put, a 2-0 lead here might be enough some afternoons if they get the solid pitching that they need, and as well as some great defense out there.
And you mentioned the defense. Like, they have 4th fewest errors in the state as well, this team. So pitching and defense can win you a lot of games and also win you a lot of championships.
3 balls, 1 strike.
Good point, Daniel. Sure. 3-1 and a strike taken all the way. Fouled off to stay alive. Full count. The home half of the second. And could be an infield hit possibility. And she is safe, just legged it out. Lamoureux hustling down that first base line. She's on board. She's now hit safely in 5 of the last 6.
As you mentioned, that hot streak just continues for great hustle play to get to first base, beating the throw. Hopefully generating a spark here for the Titans. I know there's 2 outs, but
That was close.
having someone on base definitely helps the cause.
Courtney Stout steps in out of Bradenton, batting .215, the 9-hole hitter.
What they always say, the tie goes to the runner.
Yeah, that's the saying.
Pretty close.
Stout. Oh, boy, just sucked up like a Dyson ball. There at first base, and the side is retired. There was an infield single, but Stout grounds out to first, and that ends the inning. A 2-0 game as we go to the top of the third. And there'll be a presentation here in between these innings as the Eastern Florida women's basketball team take a proverbial victory lap. They won't be doing the lap, but get some recognition from what they accomplished this season.
We would like to direct your attention to the third baseline where the women's basketball team is assembled. The women's basketball team had a historic season, setting the school record for wins in a season with 28 and were unbeaten in conference play at 12-0. They made the NJCAA Division I National Championship Tournament, marking the first time an EFSC women's basketball team made the national tournament. In Lubbock, Texas, the team reached the Elite Eight. Congratulations to head coach MJ Baker and the women's basketball team.
Getting well-deserved recognition. This Eastern Florida basketball team making the national quarterfinals this year in Lubbock, made the Elite Eight. They were an overtime loss, 63-62 to Jones College from going to the Final Four. Really one of the star players this year was Rappalucci and Gorka, had 21 points and a tournament record 26 rebounds in that game, we just talked about. 26 rebounds. She also was first team NJCAA on the All-American team. So a lot of those players returning next year for Coach MJ Baker, and deserve the accolades. What a program this has been built in such a short time by Coach Baker. You got the women's soccer team winning a national championship in the fall. Basketball team inching closer and closer. This softball team in a bit of a rebuild mode, but really holding their own here in second place in the conference.
It's great to see all the sports teams come together from the same school, support each other, you know, shine a light on all their accomplishments. It's really great to see.
All right, top of the order here for the Pioneers.
Good strike.
It's Dunham,
Ball.
Margate, Florida native. She grounded out to second first inning, batting .341. 2 for 4, 2 runs, an RBI, a stolen base in the 13-5 win on the 26th for Indian River against Eastern Florida. Count even 1-1 from Howard. Takes a strike on the inside corner.
Let's see if Trinity Howard can kind of get back to how she pitched in the first inning. A real solid,
1 ball, 2 strikes.
precise pitches into the zone. Second inning kind of got away from her a little bit. A couple of walks. Important to get this first batter out.
And able to do just that. Retired for the second time. And now here's Torsia. 3 for 4, a run, a stolen base, and a 3-1 win against Miami-Dade last week. Struck out looking in the first inning here.
Ball.
Runs low, dirt before the plate. 1-0.
You want a time, coach? Ball.
2-0 here.
The Titan defense doing a great job keeping their eye on where the batter's eye and stance is in the box. The second they show bunt, both the first and third baseman are coming inside, playing pretty stout defense to try to prevent that opportunity.
Paints the top of that strike zone. 2-1. A 1-2-3 inning would be nice here for the Titans. Trail this game 2-0. Runs scored in the top of the second for Indian River. And playing 2 today. This is the first of 2. This game is the one that's televised. Those of you wondering.
We got 2 balls, 2 strikes.
You want to look good for the cameras in this one. This is the one you want to get. You want to get both, but. And down on strikes for the second time is Deja Torsia.
Third strikeout for Trinity Howard.
Trinity Howard went 1-2-3 with the top 3 in the order in inning number 1, trying to repeat the feat here as Roland will step in. Base is empty. Strike in the inside corner.
As we mentioned with the Pioneers pitcher, Ryan, looks like Trinity Howard definitely starting to settle into this ball game. Has a lot of her pitches more under control, not as much outside.
Ball.
Takes a ball.
Time.
Time called. 1-on-1 count as Howard looking to retire Roland, to ground it out to third in her first at bat. Down the line and left. That could be extra bases. Rounding first is Rowland. She will be in with a stand-up double with 2 outs here in the bottom of the third, or top of the third. I beg your pardon.
Yeah, almost a great play by the third baseman, Brooke Thiessen. Just seemed to bounce right out of her glove and down the third base line. Allowed Rowland to get the extra base, and now she finds herself on second. Still 2 outs here in the top of the third.
Cassidy Crump now up for the second time. Walked and came, stole a base and came around to score in that second inning where they plated 2 runs. And we'll pop this deep to center. Settling under is Damone. She hauls it in to retire the side. There was 1 hit and a runner left, and it is still 2-0 as we go to the bottom of the fourth. Jeff Radcliffe with Dan Ciarelli here, and you got to find a way to get some runs, right? That's where we're at now.
Definitely. As we mentioned, the highlight of the Pioneers team today is their ERA and their defense. So even if it's 1 run in a couple innings throughout the game, it's important to get that offense rolling. It's only a 2-run deficit. As the manager said, never count out our team. We kind of stick those runs together when we seem to get 1. So, hopefully just get a couple people on base, use the speed of the Titans, and hopefully have some of those Titans come across home plate.
Yeah, we're spunky, we're grinders, right? Never count us out, because if you do, we're going to come to life. It's like I'm not going to go there. I was going to go with a TV series name. I don't want to do that. They can come back from the dead is what the point was going to be. I will hear from Dr. Ritchie if I compare it to that show. The wind is blowing right now. Pigeons enjoying the beautiful day otherwise.
As we mentioned, the Titans are very familiar with this team, with this Indian River team, and familiar with beating them this season. Honestly, they've handed them 3 of their last 4 conference losses, and the Titans are on a bit of a hot streak, going 6-2 in their last 8 games. So it is 2-0. It's still early in this one, but as you mentioned, the offense is super important for the Titans trying to beat the pitcher here with the crazy ERA numbers.
It's Damone up for the second time.
Ball.
One and one. Damone led the game off with a single, stole a base, but was stranded at third.
Ball.
Definitely want this bottom half of the inning to last longer than the previous bottom half. A quick 1, 2, 3. First 2 outs, I want to say 2 or 3 pitches it took to get those first 2 outs, not giving them any opportunity to get that offense rolling.
3 balls, 1 strike.
And the bottom of the third. Scoreboard out in the field has top of the fourth. Full count here for Damone here in the bottom of the third. Just got a piece of it, fouls it back.
Damone, as we mentioned at the top, table setter for this team. It's great to start an inning with her in the batter's box. Try to get on base, get something going for the Titans. Watch what happens from there.
Got a piece of that into the gap. Left center drops for a base hit. On for the second time. It'll be extra bases for Damone. A double to go with a single in the first, and the Titans have something brewing here in inning number 3.
Damone, great swing through the pitch, right between the center and left fielder. She adds to her lead. She's second on the team in doubles and batting average. Leads the team in hits. She adds another one to that stat total. As I mentioned, getting the offense going for her team at the top of the order. It's great to see with 0 outs still here in the bottom of the third.
8th double of the season for Damone. Thiessen now steps in. First pitch swinging. Foul ball. She walked and advanced back in the first inning. Chance here for Titans to pull level in this third. Oh, up on the chin. Couldn't get the bunt down. Ball was rising on her quick.
Devin Ryan definitely showing her speed and her arm strength this half inning, putting a lot more oomph on the ball, as I like to say. Don't know how technical of a term that is.
That's still a good term. Down the line, base hit, should score at least one. And in there, safe for the first run for the Titans is Damone Thiessen in there with an RBI double. So they switch places, Damone and Thiessen. And the Titans are on the board in the third, and we'll look to build on this with Mackenzie 4 batting for the second time.
We're looking to give the Titans the lead here.
Upstairs, but a strike. Just got the edge of it.
Represents the run that would give the Titans the lead here in the batter's box. She definitely has the swing to do it as well.
3 home runs, 23 RBIs. The 23 RBIs leads this team. File that back to the screen. 9 doubles and 34 walks. Reached on a fielder's choice in the first. Patient hitter, had a walk-off single in the win against the College of Central Florida, and also drew a walk to beat Indian River in one of those 3 wins.
2 strike count.
Why she's a 3-hole hitter. On foul, and it'll stay 0-2. Caitlyn Wilson on deck.
A great little roll right here from the Titans, getting into the thick of their lineup. Still no outs, runner in scoring position. It's great, as we mentioned at the break, you know, once they get one, it seems to kind of snowball into a bunch of runs.
Fly to right and misplayed. Roten misjudged it, perhaps the wind, and coming around to tie the ball game is Thiessen. In at third on the error is 4. Now they scored a hit, so we'll call it a triple.
That would be Mackenzie's Four's first triple this season, and it couldn't have come at a better time.
Yeah, wow.
We see, as you mentioned, the wind is blowing left to right. You don't know if the wind had anything to do with that, but a small error in the outfield leads to another run and a tie game here in the third inning.
Yeah, the wind is stiff. It's blowing out to right and away, so balls are going to carry on you a little bit.
Now batting number 16, Caitlyn Wilson.
A right-gloved player like Roten is, that could cause problems. And now a runner on third and a chance to take the lead. Caitlyn Wilson comes in, and she swings right to first and will be put out that quickly. So just kind of dinks it out to Wilson, or dinks it out to first. Dunham picks it up, and there's one away.
That one seemed to just hug the first base line. Didn't know whether it was going to go fair or foul, but stayed fair, unfortunately. Might be the easiest out we'll see all game.
3 unassisted. Runner still at third in the form of Mackenzie 4. Low ball. The Molly Reed batting for the second time out of Tampa's Sickles High School. Has started all 42 games, 1 hit in her last 8. She's batting 180, but in there for her defensive work as well.
Molly Reed is second on the team with 20 RBIs. Love to add to that total right now.
Yeah, has 2 home runs, so she has production despite the average. Ball 2 strikes. Gets a piece of it, and it gets through. The Titans have taken the lead as 4 comes on down to make it 3-2. Single by Reed keeps the inning going.
Great contact on the swing and an outside pitch, just getting a piece of it right by the second baseman. Allows Mackenzie 4 to come home, give the Titans the lead. As we mentioned, once they get one, it just seems to turn into a rally for the Titans, and couldn't come at a better time. Still only 1 out here in the bottom of the third, the runner on first, so the damage isn't done just yet.
Ball.
In this inning, we've had double, double, triple, single thus far. Home run will come back from the cycle here. Vasquez will try to lay down the bunt. It is foul. Vasquez does not have a home run this season. Did go 3 for 5 at South Florida on Wednesday. There's only one hit against Indian River this year. This would be a nice time to get number 2. That's right, our producer Brian Foster. Get that .5 ERA where they're certainly tapping that in now. Tapping into it. 3 runs here in the bottom of the 3rd for Eastern Florida.
I was gonna mention it'll be interesting to see how Ryan responds to this. I'm not sure she's faced this much adversity given that her extremely low ERA numbers. 3 runs here in the bottom of the 3rd.
And boy, rolls fair ball and picked up again. 3 unassisted. Vasquez is retired. That's the 3rd time it's been an unassisted putout for Bridget Dunham. And they haven't been hit hard either. They're easy. Well, one of them was. One of them was hit pretty hard, but
That was an identical play to the one before where it just seemed to hug the line. It didn't want to go one way or the other and kind of rolled right into her glove.
runner goes to second on the play, so running in scoring position now for Tassi. Advances on the fielder's choice. Tassi popped out to first in her last at-bat. Out of Mims. Upstairs, a ball. It's 2-0 to the Titans' second baseman. Batting .357. Just 1 RBI. Can get her second here with a good hit. Hit way ahead in the count here, 3-0. Lamoureux on deck. There are 2 away.
This is the classic hitters count, 3-0. Almost want to swing for the fences if the pitch is right because there's not much risk here. And with the runner on second, it might just take a simple.
Yeah, it depends if you're one of those players that have the green light. Not sure, but yes, you're right. 3-0 is still an advantageous position. She does take a strike there. But good point. Certain hitters certainly have the green light for it. And having trouble finding the strike zone here. And there's runners at first and second. Evan Ryan, a bit of a hole here.
Lamoureux now the 8th batter she's faced this inning. As you mentioned, every kind of hit imaginable except for a home run. We've singles, doubles, triples, error.
Takes the lower ball.
Be nice to complete the cycle within the inning.
Lamoureux reached on an infield single in the second. Titans weren't able, it was with 2 outs. Titans weren't able to do anything with it.
Ball.
Four hits, 3 runs in this inning. 2-0 count. Well, 2-1 on the foul. 2 out here. Runners on first and second. A form of Reed and Tassi. Pad this lead here. Lamoureux takes high. It is 3-1. So yeah, Ryan having trouble finding the target now.
3 balls, 1 strike.
Here's your hitter's count. Cracks at it. Be a tough play, but running on to retire the side is Torcia in left. But 3-run score on 4 hits, 2 runners left, and it is the Titans 3 and the Pioneers 2 as we go to the 4th here on WEFS.
So my super objective for this program is for students to look up in 30 years and say that their years at Eastern Florida State College in the theater department were some of the best years of their lives. They made lifelong memories, they made lifelong friends, they learned a lot, they learned about themselves, they learned about theater. That's what I hope for them, is that down the road they look up and say, that those were golden years.
Well, a big bottom of the third for Eastern Florida gives them the lead as we go to the top of the fourth. Jeff Radcliffe here, going to give Daniel Chiarelli the play-by-play duties here for the next couple of innings, of course. But, hey, now the game's really starting to heat up. We got 5 runs through the first 3, and Titans are in a good position.
Yeah, it took a little while, but once the Titans got rolling, as we mentioned, it's kind of that snowball effect. I feel like the team feeds off that momentum. Once one of the Titans gets on base, the rest of the team dugout kind of looks at each other and says, hey, guys, we could do this. We just got to string together some good at-bats, and they really did that there in the bottom of the third.
And Trinity Howard back in an advantageous spot with the team in the lead.
Here's Nicolette Lucy-Salern. Last at-bat, she advanced on a hit-by-pitch. Trinity Howard already up to 3 strikeouts on the day.
Ball.
Ball inside and low. Trinity Howard had a nice rebound back in the 3rd inning. From the 2nd inning, when Pioneers got their 2 runs on the board, wants to continue that good streak going here into the 4th inning. There's a strike.
Howard, 52 strikeouts and 20 appearances so far this year. Just pretty high walk count too, but just one of those this game. So keep that form going.
1-1 count with no outs.
Ball.
Another ball inside. Trinity Howard looks like she's trying to get the pitcher, or the batter, excuse me, to swing at those low pitches, try to force those groundouts as we mentioned at the top of the show.
2 balls, 1 strike.
The breezy afternoon, cool weather as we approach May.
There's a shot past the 3rd baseman. That'll be a single. Lucy Salem gotten on base both times, been up to bat. Start the inning off with a single.
Hit by pitch, back of the 2nd, stole the base.
That's number 8, Taylor Roten. He advanced on a walk last time up. As we mentioned, head coach Shelby Pettick stressing to her team, make Indian River earn their runs. Do not just give them free opportunities to score. There's a bunt opportunity and quickly forced out at first. Throw back to 2nd. Won't be in time, but good defense there by the Titans. As I was saying, make them earn it. These walks are hit by pitches. It's free offense for the Pioneers, and with a team that has the speed when they get on base, you certainly don't want to give them these extra opportunities to get more runs on the board.
Yeah, Roten in the last inning over in right field kind of misjudged the ball, perhaps the wind, and that kind of led to the big inning. So I'm sure she wanted to get some of that back and help her comrade out, but not to be.
Here's Megan Branch, get an RBI back in the 2nd inning. Looking for some more offense here for the Pioneers. Ball. Count is 2-0 now.
Had a RBI that last inning, a chance at another one here. Only with the struggles from Devin Ryan this past inning, there'd be any work going out in that bullpen for Indian River. Nothing as of yet, so they're going to ride her.
Yeah, with the numbers she's showcasing this season, it would be tough to kind of take her out of the game.
Aberration at this point.
There's ball 4. 4-ball count allows Branch to advance to first, so runners on first and second here. Still one out in the top of the fourth. Titans lead the Pioneers 3-2.
So you just plated 3 in the bottom half of the third. You do not want to give it back now. It's one of the things you work so hard at it.
Turn.
You want to keep that lead for a little bit, and now Shelby Pettick's going to go into the circle and have a talk.
Yeah, as you mentioned, they want to keep the momentum, keep the good feeling going in the bullpen. Don't just give it back to the Pioneers. As we've stated multiple times, make them earn it if they're going to get any runs. That goes straight through Trinity Howard, who's the pitcher, the anchor on this defense. And it's a quick pep talk, it looks like, getting her kind of refocused back in the zone here. Try not to let this inning get away from her.
Just a simple visit to settle things.
Stanfield
Ball.
takes the ball. She also hit an RBI earlier in the second inning. Give the Pioneers their second run of the game. Seems like anywhere in this Pioneers lineup, they can do a lot of damage. Right? Bit of a bloop chop to third. He'll step on the base. Force out.
Oh. Foul ball.
Well, they called it foul. Everyone will reset. Almost worked out.
Almost worked too well, didn't it?
I was going to say almost worked out in the Titans' favor. Those simple just step on the bag outs, but if we take another look at this. Ball went foul. Back to first and second.
So I'm going to be blooped into right field, coming around, huh?
Here's the play, and she'll be safe. Game is tied at 3. Uzi Salem, very energetic in her celebration.
Up, yeah. And there goes the lead. Blink and you miss it.
She knows how important that run is. Tying the game up. You look again just over the head of the second baseman. Play was close, but not in time. And there's that reaction. She is on fire after tying the game up.
It's Leslie's 29th run scored of the season. She was going all the way, and this could score another, huh?
There was another shot to identical spot on the field, but third base umpire holds him up. Now we got bases loaded here, top of the fourth.
And the problem here is this is the bottom of the order. You got the really dangerous hitters coming up.
With one out, nice double play opportunity here with the bases loaded. Get out of this inning. The game is tied. You came in with the lead, but try to keep it tied. Not going to the bottom of the fourth, down any runs.
There's some activity in the Titans bullpen now. It's Mandy Pettinini Taylor, who's typically a starter. But now the bases are corroded, as they say.
Ball. Up high. A lot of velocity on that pitch right there. Trinity Howard, as we mentioned, coming off off-season injury. Definitely rounding into form as the season has gone on. The Titans definitely rely on her a lot in these in-conference games.
Whoa, and that one got away. Wild pitch, huh? And starting to fall apart here, I think.
That one was high, and there was a lot of velocity on that one as well. Just escaped the catcher's grasp, and just like that, the lead goes back to the Pioneers. They've been very back and forth so far in the past few innings. Both these teams know how important this game is. As we mentioned, season series tied at 3 games apiece. These are the top 2 teams in the conference, with the top 2 teams in each conference advancing end of season tournament.
They got 2 in scoring position, and you've conceded the lead 4-3.
That one fouled back towards the booth. Go back to the top of the order for the Pioneers. Bridget Dunham lined out in the first, struck out in the third. Gonna get something going here with runners in scoring position, second and third base. That's fired right to the first baseman's glove. She'll step on the bag. but a run will score for the Pioneers. Macy Stanfield coming across the bag. It is 5-3 Pioneers. Just like that, they respond with their own 3-run inning so far. Take a 2-run lead again.
Now, one of those, anything you can do, I can do better. This situation. I'll show you 3. Now we're going to try for 4.
Yes, Dylan treacherous for the Titans here. Runner on third base.
Yeah.
Foul tip right there. It's Torcha steps up to the plate. He struck out twice so far. She's looking to get that third base runner home.
Yeah, you'll forget about the strikeouts if you can put another run across here.
Nice strike for Trinity Howard. Counts even at 1-1.
2 strike count.
He strikes out for a 3rd time. Torchia, Trinity Howard gets out of the inning. Does allow 3 runs in the top of the 4th. The Pioneers take a 5-3 lead. We head into the bottom of the 4th inning.
Did so on 2 hits. But that's what you can do on the base paths. A couple of fielder's choices. You put the ball in play and runs come across. You put some pressure on the defense to make the play. And those things tend to happen.
And it's a very interesting game script coming in. Both pitchers, Trinity Howard and Devin Ryan, both sporting great numbers this season, but it's turned into a back and forth matchup. Bats are alive today. Lots of base running opportunities, as you mentioned. A few errors in the outfield with the wind blowing left to right. We have a 5-3 ball game in the bottom of the 4th. And now we'll see what the Titans can do to respond. Back-to-back 3-run innings for both teams. Let's see if the offense keeps flowing here.
Well, Ryan, who came into this game leading the state in ERA, I don't know if she will after today, after giving up 3. 8-2 coming in, .53 ERA, a couple of saves, 66.1 innings pitched, 14 walks, 28 strikeouts. And she's going to go out here for a 4th inning of work. Everything is settled down in the Titans bullpen too. Stout trying to get to the top of the order here.
She lined out back in the 2nd inning. Takes her strikes.
One of those unassisted putouts at first by Dunham. Pulls a cucumber there at first.
Ball.
Takes the ball. Just as we mentioned, last inning for the Titans, getting that first batter on base is super crucial to getting that offense rolling. It seems like you're playing from behind when you're playing with 1 out or 2 out trying to generate offense. So getting this leadoff hitter would be huge for the Titans. That's a great play at first again.
Yeah.
Seems like she is a softball magnet this afternoon.
Sorry. That's it planted. Well, they could put copper in clothing, right? Could they put like some magnetic metals in there? And don't want to give anybody any ideas.
Right. Counts 1-2 here.
Major League Baseball now that they're trying to figure out all sorts of electronic ways to stop things.
That ball.
Ooh.
There's an assisted play. Finally to the first baseman. She almost had her 4th unassisted play. The ball just squeaked out of her glove.
This is why you back up. That could have been an infield single. And
another shot on the ground right to the first baseman.
Crump was right on it.
Top of the order we go. Damone got the scoring started last inning for the Titans. Leadoff double. leads the team in most offensive categories. See if she could be a spark for the Titans here again. There's a pop-up to the center fielder. She'll make the play. You can see her kind of drifting out there. I'm not sure when it hit that high in the air. The wind has been very steadily blowing from left to right. Hard to make that play. We're in the shade over here, but I'm not sure how bright the sun is out there as well.
Just depends. It's going to drift in and out of whatever clouds are there. This player's used to that. I'd say the wind has been more of a factor today. Just a low wind from the Atlantic.
Here's Brooke Thiessen. She brought one home earlier
Ball.
at the bottom of the third. Started that rally for the Titans that saw them take a quick lead, 3-2. Then the Pioneers answered right back in the top of the fourth with 3 runs of their own. But back to a 2-run lead here, 5-3.
Far different situation this time for Thiessen. She had the RBI double and came around to score, as you said. Now just trying to keep the inning going with 2 away.
Devin Ryan much more composed this inning. There's a shot just about foul down the right field line. Seems to have that strike zone more in focus. Their pitches aren't as outside as they were previously, which allowed a bunch of the Titans to take advantage of that. Count still 1-2 here.
All sports, you talk about a response, right? So the Titans score 3 in the bottom of the third, and Indian River immediately responded. That's what good teams do, and now it's up to the Titans to respond here, whether it's this inning or next. That's what you want to see as a coach.
Another shot fouled out, and it takes me back to when the game was tied up 3-3, and we saw that celebration, that reaction. It kind of, looking back on it, hindsight's 20/20, but we could see how much that run meant. Then they added 2 more, knowing that they kind of grabbed the momentum back from the Titans.
Yep. Mighty Mo.
There's a shot bouncing off 2 gloves into left field. That'll be a single for Thiessen. That's to her day already. Single and a double with an RBI.
Yeah, so you can tie this up now. Now you got a home run hitter coming in.
Yes.
The issue is she's right-handed, and the ball will be going into the wind, so it's not going to be easy, but she can, Mackenzie can really turn on.
Yeah, Kenzie we mentioned 3 home runs on the season. Now would be a great time for her 4th to tie this ball game up. She definitely has the power. Be interesting to see if Ryan dares give her a good pitch to swing on. There's a swing. Bounced on the ground. Oh, and
Got away.
missed by the first baseman. In and out of the glove. Now we have runners on the corners.
Yeah, this is
Both of them.
uncharacteristic here. The Pioneers, they're a team that came in with just the 4th fewest errors in the state. And a couple of them here.
Number 16, Caitlyn Wilson.
Yeah, and Bridget Dunham for the Pioneers, like we joked earlier, it almost seems like she has a magnet on her today, where all the line drives are going right to her. Couldn't seem to make the play right there. Bounced out of her glove. Allowed this inning for the Titans to continue.
Looked at the numbers for Ryan. She has not conceded a home run all year. So one of those things that you're gonna try to put a run across. You can forget it, but the Titans went against the grain there. They did the same thing, hitting a long ball.
Caitlyn Wilson, the right fielder for the Titans, popped out in the first, lined out in the third. Trying to make some great contact.
Oof. Hear that wind blow.
Off the edge of the bat, goes foul. All it takes right now with the runner on third is a nice shot right in between second baseman and the shortstop. Right over the pitcher's head. There's a lot of room in the outfield. Good eye there. From Wilson. It's 3-1. Spinning ball right to the second baseman over to Dunham. That will end the inning there. Titans unable to get any runs on the board and capitalize on with some runners in scoring position.
Yeah, just you started the rally too late with 2 outs, so do that a little earlier. Might have led to something.
And we'll be right back here with Titans softball.
The lab that EFSC respiratory program has is very up to date and had actually more stuff than some of the hospitals did. As a student here, working with all that equipment definitely puts you at an advantage, because when you're here for a semester and then you go out, you get to see it on real patients. The lab here is, I would say, above and beyond what you would need to see and what you need to know when you go out to your clinical sites.
And we're back here with Eastern Florida State College softball. Back and forth matchup here between the Titans and Indian River Pioneers. A couple exciting innings there in the 3rd and 4th as we head to the top of the 5th. The Pioneers have a 2-run lead here. And it looks like Trinity Howard still in the game, pitching her 5th straight inning.
Ball.
First pitch rather, is inside and a ball.
Got a little update from Bruce Bogey Field across the way. It's a 2-2 ball game. The baseball team playing Miami-Dade, the first place team, for a 3-game series. That would be a big win for Coach Brown if they can pull that out. So 2 in the 9th. And it's just a pop fly away from our broadcast vantage point here. We were live last week with WEFS and they got a big win.
Quick 2-0 count.
Ball.
Make it 3-0 for Trinity Howard.
3-ball count.
Roland is back at the plate. She lined out in the 1st, doubled 3rd.
Ball.
That is a 4-pitch walk right there from Trinity Howard. Not the way you want to start off the inning.
Correctamundo. And now got Rowland aboard, and then Crump, who's got a heavy bat. A home run and 31 RBIs coming in. Just a really professional hitter, really.
Ball.
That pitch inside.
Time.
They take a quick timeout again. Quick mound visit. Trinity Howard.
Little activity in the Titans bullpen now. Looks like Daniel Branton is up. Sophomore out of Gulf Breeze, who did pitch a scoreless inning against Indian River earlier this year.
As we mentioned,
Not incredibly active yet, but yeah.
These teams super familiar with each other. The 7th game this season against each other. Most of the pitchers on both teams have seen action against these lineups. One opportunity here. Trinity Howard goes to make the play, but not in time.
Executed to perfection. That ball just deadened right in between the home plate and the pitcher. And you got somebody with the pace that Crump has. That's going to be an infield single and move the runner. That's getting it done.
That ball just seemed to have some backward spin on it, and as you mentioned, just died in the dirt there. You had 3 Titan players around the ball, but no one able to make the play in time. The Pioneers a lead-off single.
I think that's a skill you learn from 80 Jeff Carr on the tennis court. Just deaden the ball.
They show bunt again. This one goes foul.
Trying to take a page out of what the Titans like to do, small ball.
You mentioned both these teams have great speed with their base runners. Really good strategy when it comes to swinging for the fences or just a simple bunt like that, sacrifice flies. They really know how to use offensive strategy, and Pioneers looking like they can do some more damage here. No outs, runners on first and second.
Yeah, a lot of these innings have started with getting some runners on here for Indian River, whereas some of the hits have come later in the inning, with the exception of that first inning for Eastern Florida. When you have a 0 up on the scoreboard in the outs column, you have a little bit more margin for error.
Another bunt opportunity, same play, but this time Trinity Howard gets the out. Runners advance to second and third. Get that first out on the board, super important.
That's textbook small ball. Sacrifice.
Titans have been on top of that all day today.
That's the thing. That's your 5-hole hitter laying down a bunt for a sacrifice. Everybody's got to buy in. And Atkinson certainly has that in that program. No place for stars.
Everyone contributes. There's a shot right to the center fielder.
A tag up.
We'll be safe. Pioneers extend their lead to 6-3. Great play from the center fielder. But as we mentioned, that speed on the bases definitely playing into the Pioneers' advantage.
It's Crump's second run of the game.
Contact on the swing off the end of the bat. Throws just a bit left. Not sure if it would have gotten there in time, but across the plate, and Pioneers take a 3-run lead here in the top of the 5th. Runner still on third base with 2 outs.
Branch walked and scored on the wild pitch back in the 4th. Trying to just keep this inning going.
Where Trinity Howard would love one of her iconic groundouts she relies on so much.
Iconic, yeah.
Get out of the inning, only 1 run of damage.
Oh, goodness gracious,
steal.
squeeze.
Wow.
Ouch.
What a play there by Cassidy Crump.
Take the eye off the prize for just a split second. And that is just a momentum killer.
Take another look at this. Don't see it too often, but catcher, the pitcher, really focusing on their exchange rather than the runner at third base. Sees the signal and she takes off. Now 7-3 for the Pioneers.
Stealing home.
Swing and a miss. By Megan Branch.
This is now 5 runs for 2 innings here. Really put a hurting on Eastern Florida. A couple of them unearned.
There's a shot fair down the line.
Well, so that run would have scored anyway despite the squeeze. So
Branch holds up at second base. Yeah, as you mentioned.
Despite stealing home, yep.
Sometimes it just works out like that. That ball barely stayed fair.
Now those are the ones that hurt, right down the line. You know, it's going to be extra bases every time.
That's a couple on Brooke Thiessen that she'd love to have back, just super close to the ball, extending her arm out, but that ball left the bat with some heat.
9th double of the season for Branch, and now she'll be pinch run for her.
Number 12, Taylor Milton, pinch runner. Her 5th game played this season.
Way to get the younger players in.
Trinity Howard, 2 outs, looking for that third. We're on second.
Ball in front.
Ball bit inside for ball 1.
And don't think for a second that they haven't heard about, they were leading the conference. They're undefeated for a while. And the Titans have taken 3 of the last 4. Don't think that doesn't sting and motivate. They wanted to come in here and rewrite their ship.
They have
as they wind down the season.
They had a lot of bulletin board material for sure going into this game. A doubleheader, as we mentioned. definitely want to start off the first game of that doubleheader with a victory. There's a shot to the third baseman, Thiessen. She makes the play to first, and that'll end the top of the fifth. Pioneers get 2 runs, one of them off a stolen home play on a missed exchange between the catcher and the pitcher. Quite exciting stuff here. The Pioneers stretch their lead to 7-3 as we head into the bottom of the fifth.
Now, Eastern Florida State College will host a virtual parent preview night event on Tuesday, April 26th from 6 to 7:30 p.m. to explain how students can earn college credits while still in high school. Parents will gain valuable information about early admissions, the dual enrollment program, and advanced standing credit programs, as well as an introduction to the rigors of college coursework. Register to attend at easternflorida.edu/go/dual preview. The rigors of college coursework, something Daniel Chiarelli knows very well.
Yes, I do.
At one point, I think I did too, but that was so long ago. Let's take a look at that steal home in that last inning.
Yeah, just like I said, a rare play. Great eyes there from Cassidy Crump.
Yeah,
See her reaction.
Trinity just turned her back, and that's a learning experience. That's exactly what Shelby Pettick wants her team to do, is be that aggressive on the base paths. And don't think for a second that's just haphazard or that stuff's planned. That stuff, they work on that in practice all the time.
It's great to see, a rare play like that executed to perfection, and you don't really see that too often, but worked out for the Pioneers. They stretch their lead. Now it's the Titans' turn to try to get some offense going. It's a quick out right there from short to first base. One already away. Devin Ryan goes into her 5th inning. Vicky Vasquez takes the plate. She has 2 lineouts in the 2nd and 3rd inning. Trying to get her first hit of the afternoon.
You're starting to run out of innings here. You've got 3 left with 4 runs to catch up. You'd like to at least get 1 to kind of get some momentum going into the latter innings. Will yourself away here. Now, there's a second game. You do think about that, but this one's not out of what we learned from this team. They will not quit to the final out.
Just need that one spark, whether it's a hit, a walk, an error, something to get them going and kind of piece all these offensive players together and get some momentum going back on their side.
There's still college athletes, and when you have a comfortable lead, that's when you let off the accelerator a little bit. We talk about it in the soccer season all the time. Across the way there, sometimes that 2-goal lead is misleading because you let the foot off the gas pedal and all of a sudden it's 2-2. Of course, the Titans women, the reigning national champs, and the men's team, new head coach, and the Titans here will host the national tournament next fall. So you can always learn from soccer, I would say, but I'm biased.
Here's a full count opportunity. Swing and a miss there. Devin Ryan adds another strikeout to her total. Vicky Vasquez going down on strikes. Take another look at it. Swinging a bit early there for Vasquez.
I'm looking at my unofficial scorecard. I think that's her first strikeout. I've been known to make a mistake, but bring it up, and that's out number 2. And here again, if you're going to try to make a run at this in this inning, you don't have any room for error. You just got the 1 out. You're wasting the hits.
Counts even at 1-1. As you mentioned, just something to get the team going. It seems like after their 3-run bottom of the 3rd, Pioneers simply took over on both sides of the softball, be it pitching and hitting.
I caught you there.
2-1.
Count 2-1. Tossie. Extends the bat out, tries to get contact on it, just goes foul.
Sun comes up behind us a little bit off to the right. This field situated looking to the southeast.
2 ball, 2 strikes.
See the shadows being cast as the sun goes west in the approaching evening.
There's a shot to the second baseman. Oh, that'll be 3 outs very quickly there for the Pioneers. The Pioneers keep their lead at 7-3 as we enter the final stretch of this one. 2 innings left, hopefully more for the Titans if they manage to tie the game up. And we'll be right back
We can hope.
for Titan softball.
Build a successful career with a bachelor's degree from Eastern Florida State College. You can choose from nearly 25 tracks in today's top job fields of business, healthcare, and computer technologies, with classes tailored to meet your needs on campus and online. A bright future awaits you with a bachelor's degree from Eastern Florida State College. To learn more, visit easternflorida.edu/go/bachelors.
And welcome back, everybody. Great softball game this beautiful spring afternoon between the Pioneers and the Titans. Pioneers stretch their lead out 7-3 as they enter the batter's box again, trying to extend it even more.
The Pioneers have put 5 across in the last 2 innings to really put some distance away. This after the Titans had taken a 1-run lead. You're thinking, okay, they're wrestling control of this one. And maybe putting it in the back of their mind that they're going to have their number this year, but
There's a shot. Great play again from the center fielder. I was about to mention, if the Titans want to keep this game within grasp, this is a extremely important
one,
inning.
2, 3 would be very important here. Yes. Good
Take
point.
another look at it. Good contact. Not sure if the wind had something that looked like the ball just died out at the end right there. Don't want to give too much credit to the wind. more to the center fielder.
It's not going to pat you on the back or appreciate it. So
Well,
The bunt bounced off batter and catcher.
yeah, so there you got Dunham trying to just get on with a bunt, batting .341 and with 19 RBIs. Just shows her pace.
As you mentioned, that small ball working to both teams' advantages this season. Looks like the Pioneers are getting the better of the Titans in that department today. Counts at 1-1 here. There's a shot to Trinity Howard. Makes the play to first. Great play there from Howard. He remains in the game. There's quick 2 outs. Start the top of the 6th.
Now batting number 4, Tajia Torchia.
Now I mentioned at the jump, once Torchia gets on base, she could torch you. She struck out twice. Hasn't been that dangerous in this one. Don't want to jinx anything, but always got to watch out for her.
Now, boy, the golden sombrero here. I think she's the type of player that would, you know what, I'm not happy about striking out, but my team is up 4 runs in the 6th. Looking for, win number 30 on the season. You'll trade that.
Swing and a miss there.
You may feel that maybe Torchia in the next game will be a little further down the order, though, but you never know.
1 ball, 1 strike.
You could have a tough game once, and then the second one, you light it up and go 3 for 4. Sometimes it's just a pitching matchup, too.
Yeah, don't let the score fool you here. Trinity Howard has played an impressive game so far.
And especially coming back from the elbow injury that she had. And she had a bit of a rough outing the last time out, too, but overall the trend has been up If she was stock, you would buy it. Just a little bump here today. And they'll have to ride her the last couple of weeks of the season here.
Torcha facing hitters count here, 3-1.
Yeah, a few times she's been ahead of the
3 balls,
count.
1 strike.
Titans look to get that important third out. Keep the lead for the Pioneers at 4. There's a strike looking. Got a full count here. As you mentioned, coming off the offseason injury, showing her endurance is especially impressive as well.
I agree.
Going 6 innings, still having lots of velocity, lots of control over her pitches.
Ball.
That one goes just high and outside for the ball 4 walk.
Yeah, for those of you who don't watch a lot of baseball and don't see as much softball, the pitching situation in softball a little different. I mean, it's not as much stress on the arm to pitch underhanded, so you will see players sometimes pitch two straight games. It does happen. I remember seeing a game, University of Nebraska, about 10 years ago, as a pitcher named Peaches James, and in the NCAA tournament, played 2 straight games on the same day, or it was certainly in the postseason. I can't remember. It was the Big 12 tournament at the time. Same day, and went the distance in both. I think Angela Tincher, another one, who has done that.
There was Torcha with a stolen base there. Adds to her lead on her team.
You don't see it a lot, but it's possible. You want to have two good pitchers. If anything, you want to give a good look, different look for the next game if you have a doubleheader.
As you mentioned, sometimes you have that hot hand. You got to ride it to success. If it's not broke, don't fix it. And if they have the endurance and the physical ability to pitch multiple games, I don't see why not.
Yeah, but the arm wear is not the same thing. Yeah, you're not going to see a Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday starter like you'd see in college baseball, and then they don't pitch again for the rest of the week.
There's a blooper.
Oh.
That will stay fair. Right after the infield, Torcha gets all the way home. A double there for Roland.
You're going the wrong direction here. You needed to tuck this closer, and now you've conceded another one. So,
as you mentioned, the Pioneers now lead by 5 runs, 8-3. Take another look at it. This one just popped up just past the second baseman, just in front of the right fielder. Oh, that sweet spot on the field for the hitter. Fortunate there.
Ball.
Roland with a double. Second base. Still 2 outs here on the top of the 6th. Here's Cassidy Crump. Stole home earlier. Didn't catch it. Quite the rare play. Give the Pioneers their 7th run. Took advantage of some miscommunication from the Titans and stole home base. Back in the batter's box with a 2-0 count. Swinging for the fences there. Foul tip.
You don't really need to. 5-run advantage here.
Had a very solid afternoon.
Especially from the right-hand side of the plate where you're hitting into the wind. The wind changes course in that second game of this doubleheader. Sometimes it does die down once the sun goes down. Or sometimes it picks up.
Trinity Howard looking for the strikeout here to end this inning.
2 strikes.
Counts even at 2-2. There's a shot to second baseman, right over to the first. That'll end the inning. Pioneers add 1 more to their lead. They now lead 8-3 as we head to the bottom of the 6th inning. And as we mentioned, just across the road, we see the baseball team for Eastern Florida State. That game is still tied 2-2 as they head into the 11th
against
inning.
Miami-Dade, the top team in their conference. So, yeah, that should be a big win for the program over on that side. Again, it's another first-year coach for Eastern Florida. Stephen Brown trying to get the Titans to the places they really want to be. Lost 2 or 3 to last place South Florida State last week. They won the game on our air on Wednesday and then played the next 2 and lost. So that wasn't part of the plan. But here is Miami-Dade. At least as of last week was undefeated in conference play. So they were just been a juggernaut. Be a good feather in the cap. Well, you can register now for Eastern Florida State College summer sessions. Face-to-face, online, and hybrid courses are available on all 4 Eastern Florida campuses. It's also a good time to review admissions requirements and meet with an advisor if needed. Go to easternflorida.edu for more information. So down 5 runs here. Look, nothing's impossible.
They are a rally type team.
Yep.
Put the rally caps on, flip them inside out.
Whatever you can do.
All starts here with the first batter.
Yes, sir.
Went for the bunt attempt just outside. One strike. Mitchell Amaro could get the offense started here for the Titans. They desperately need something here in the bottom of the 6th. As you mentioned, Jeff, they're running out of innings here to make this lead smaller. That's fouled back. Devin Ryan has regained her composure after that 3rd inning, the only inning where she allowed any offense from the Titans.
I would say.
Back to form, again sporting that for this game.
3rd inning was the only blip.
.58 ERA. Mind-boggling. There's a shot. I believe that stayed foul.
Question is,
did she catch it?
Caught.
Looked okay on the play. She did not catch it, so back to the batter's box we go. Good effort there from Lucy Salem.
Got Stout on deck. You can get it to the top of the order. Ramon has hit the ball hard. Single, a double, then hit it deep to center on a fly out.
Pitch outside.
The bat 3rd this inning with Brooke Thyssen, if we can get to her. Father is watching. Say hello to him.
Another pitch outside. Good eye there. The count goes full 2-2. All square 2-2, rather. What's a half swing there?
Now staying alive.
Two balls, 2 strikes.
Ramon and Dyson have been the heart of things today.
Trying to get her to bite on that outside pitch, just not working out. Got good, I'd say great patience in the box. Down 5 runs, you know, your instinct is to kind of swing at anything that looks plausibly like a strike, but
good at bat. Let's see if she can punctuate it with hitting on base. Nada.
foul tip right back into the catcher's glove, called a strike, and she'll be retired.
Now we got a pinch hitter here.
Number 34, Hayley Keating, freshman, just her 9th game. She does have 2 RBIs, batting .400. Not a big sample size,
Yeah,
but
has 2 pinch game-winning hits in the past 10 days. Not in that situation here, down 5 runs, but you want to give her another, put the bat in her hand, see if she can keep this thing going. Keating out of Odessa, Florida.
makes the pitch.
That gets on base.
Right off,
Right
right off the thigh. Didn't even react to that one. Takes first base, 1 out.
And now you're back to the top of the order. And if you're going to have a chance here, you keep people on. We're going to have a pinch runner here. Keating will be subbed for.
That'll be an interesting stat line. She comes in, she gets hit by a pitch,
and
she leaves.
Yeah, and Stout replaces her as the pinch. So she was the initial batter in that order. So she'll retake first. Stout does have 16 stolen bases, so good decision there for sure. Now it starts with one. You can't get 5 runs in one hit. As we learned back in the 3rd inning, hits are contagious. You get a couple and everybody wants to be part of the party.
I would argue if there's one person to get the offense going here, definitely Kayla Damon.
A double, a single, and a hard fly out to center. Tyson on deck with a walk, an RBI double, and a single herself. So those two have combined to be retired just once.
The ball bounces right over the second baseman. Great luck there for the Titans, and they have runners on the corners. There's still one out in the bottom of the 6th.
You will take that.
Take that any day, especially down 5 runs.
Damone on base now for the 3rd time in 4 at-bats.
We look at this again, not sure what it hit in the dirt, but a lucky bounce for the Titans there. Go over the head, allow the runners to advance. We've got action here.
Yeah, Stout at 3rd, Damone at 1st, and now Tyson.
If the Titans want to back up their claim, they're spunky. This is the perfect time to do it. Hanging around,
Home run, 18 RBIs, and thought about the bunt. Will take 2nd on the play. 19th stolen base.
And again, removes the force out situation from the Pioneers' arsenal.
Yes, good point. Beg your pardon, 17th stolen base. Really good RBI opportunity here for Brooke.
Here we go as she runs home. So they'll get a run.
Don't trade the out for a run. Good.
Make that trade any day. The Titans bring the lead to 4. It's now 8-4. 2 outs here. Runner at second base. Here comes Kenzie 4. Reached on 2 different errors in 2 different innings. Not the luck on her side today, but she'd love to smash one right now.
Yes.
Bring Damone home.
Make that last inning really interesting. Should be able to do that. 4 with 3 home runs, leads the team in RBIs and doubles and walks. A couple of walk-offs this year.
There's a swing. It's deep. Oh, and it just looks like the wind maybe caught that ball.
I would agree. It was right into the wind, and it looked good off the bat, but in the end, you take the 1 run, and you're down 4.
Yeah, as the Titans look to hopefully come back in this one. They trail the Pioneers by a score of 8-4, and we'll be right back for the 7th inning. Don't go anywhere.
The biggest challenge that students have, I believe, is just getting started. That's why we're here at the Writing Lab, is to help show them how to pre-plan their writing, how to get a good start, and then go back and revise. And we're here for every step of that. I just like to see that little eureka moment, that light bulb that goes on, and they're like, oh, I know how to do this now. I help with any class that involves writing. If it's language-based, we can help.
Oh yeah, busy day here on the Melbourne campus of Eastern Florida State College. You got the baseball team across the way in extra innings against Miami-Dade. Jeff Radcliffe, Daniel Chiarelli here as we go into the 7th inning. First game of a doubleheader. Look, you're 4 runs down. You want to get something out of this inning, of course, but you do have to look ahead to the next 7-inning affair this afternoon.
Ball.
100%. Definitely get some scouting going on, hitters' tendencies. We mentioned these teams have played each other a bunch this season, but doubleheader's a great opportunity to make some notes against your rival, see what they're doing that's working, what you are doing that's not working so much.
Yeah, today will be the last time, unless they meet in the state tournament somehow. But that requires the Titans to win some games down the stretch to secure second. You look at the standings coming into today, it was Indian River 14-4, Eastern Florida 10-8, Miami-Dade hot on their heels 9-9. They're playing South Florida this week. South Florida 3-15, so out of the equation. So it's really a 3 teams for 2 spot race. And fouled straight back. This is Luzzi, who has scored 3 runs today.
As we mentioned, both these teams coming into this game on a bit of a hot streak. Indian River 7-3 in their last 10. Eastern Florida State 6-4. So both of these games, this one and the one coming up, super important for the standings, for morale, especially heading into the end of the regular season.
1-2. Trinity Howard going to go the distance here. We'll see if we see.
2 strikes.
We see Mandy in our next game. Programming note: that game will not be televised. So here's your chance if you're watching us and you're nearby. Come on over. Some support.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
8-4 game. 5 hits apiece, at least on the scoreboard. I'm not sure if that's official. I think there's been a lot more than that. 2-2.
Full.
Runs full. Just hit by a pitch and scored in the second. Singled, scored in the fourth.
3 balls, 2 strikes.
Sacrifice and a stolen base, came around to score again in the fifth. She's gotten used to being out on the base paths today, and she will do it again. A walk.
I was going to say, obviously this inning super important for Trinity Howard and the Titans to keep the lead at 4 to give them any chance of a comeback, but it's also important for Trinity Howard, as you mentioned, going the distance here today, pitching all 7 innings. Establish that confidence in herself, in her abilities, and keep it going into future games.
Yep. The ERA is going to go up a little here, allowing 8 runs.
Ball.
Taking second, and they're safe. So a stolen base for Nicolette Luzzi. That's her 20th stolen base. She had one earlier in the game. Now you got a runner in scoring position and no outs. I don't know if I'm Dale Atkinson, I'm like, save some of this for the next game. Get this one well in hand. At least conventional wisdom tells you that.
2 balls.
Behind in the count, 2-0.
A lot of stolen bases from both teams today. Not sure if it's both teams have similar strategies.
Back to the pitcher, they'll just get the easy out, thrown to Vasquez at first. Dancing to third on the play is Lizzie. Roten goes 1-3, is retired. There's one away for Megan Branch, designated hitter, as an RBI. Walked and scored on a wild pitch, and then a double back in the 5th. Really been a busy, a good day up and down the lineup in this game for Indian River. They have righted the ship, at least for this game.
And it seems that is the team's philosophy. As you mentioned earlier, when you have the 5 or 6 hitter who are batting over 300, they're bunting with 0 outs. It just shows that, everyone in this lineup contributes. Everyone kind of has their own specialty, but at the end of the day, if everyone puts it together offensively, then the Pioneers usually come out with the W.
Now, they lost 3 or 4 coming in at a 7-game win streak prior to that. Of the 4 losses, they are 14-4 in the Southern Conference this year. 3 of them have been to the Titans. They split with Miami-Dade last week. And we'll go at South Florida State. And it looks like Eastern Florida has won the baseball game on the other side over at Boots Bochy Field, because there is a wild celebration in Seward Center. So I think the David has slew Goliath. Trying to get the particulars for you. Good eye, Daniel.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
Your young eyesight. Yeah, usually if you're seeing celebrating, and they're going to celebrate a loss, right? So they'll take it. Runner at third is Luzzy. There's one away. Branch still batting 2-2. So congratulations there to the Titans. Big win against Miami-Dade. Second place on the line. Every win they can get to the state tournament as well, despite some subpar performances during the season. Baseball team's now 22, 23, and 1 overall. 6 and 10 in the Southern Conference.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
2-2. Now it's those baseball players to come over here and root the ladies on here in the softball game. In game 2 of the doubleheader.
Full count here. It'd be
3 balls,
awesome
2
for
strikes.
Trinity Howard get her 4th strikeout today. As I mentioned, just building on her own momentum.
Popped up. This is trouble, though. And it falls in. That will be an RBI, and it will move to 9-4. Good at bat there for Branch. Just kind of fought that and fisted it in the center field and gets the RBI. So her second RBI of the game as Luzzy comes around to score. 9-4 ball game. Now looks like we're going to have a pitching change. So that will close the book on Trinity Howard.
Now pitching for the Titans, number 18, Ariana Gonzalez.
Ariana Gonzalez is going to get the rest of this inning. Ariana, the freshman out of Pompano Beach, Coral Springs Charter, 1-0. Usually the 4th pitcher. A pitcher with some good movement. It's been pretty good in the last 3 outings.
She's only pitched 18 2/3 innings this season. Great to see her getting some action under her belt. She is working with a 5-run deficit here and a runner, but it's always great to get out there and
yes, well, you're trying to earn more playing time.
Exactly.
Well, an investment in Eastern Florida State College is an investment in higher education, the foundation for the nation's political and economic success. Communities that support higher education flourish, and every dollar that you invest in Eastern Florida State College is a dollar invested in our community. Contact the Eastern Florida State College Foundation and Alumni Association. The number's on your screen, 321-433-7055, to learn how you can support Eastern Florida State College. Rounded to short, misplayed. That will keep the inning going. Moving to third and meet. That's the second out of the inning. It appeared to be in slow motion. And Branch is retired at third. Helps the cause out. Now you just need 1 out as we look again.
Yeah, great play by Kayla Damone. That's a miscue there on the shortstop right off the glove. We've seen that multiple times today, but an absolute rocket to third base into the glove. Able to make the play, getting the second out. Not an easy throw to make from deep center field all the way to third base, kind of across your body, into the wind. She did it with some quickness. Great defensive play there for the Titans.
Caught stealing his Branch. At second is Stanfield. Swinging away is the 9-hole hitter, Kyla Nyer. 9-4 ball game. Nyer from down the road. Local player to Indian River. Played at Jensen Beach out of Stuart, Florida. Well, Jensen Beach is not in Stuart, but she's from Stuart. Batting .243. Freshman.
Ball.
Two programs that pride themselves on mining in-state talent, especially around their respective campuses. Florida has 16 of their 22 on the roster from the state of Florida, 5 from Central Florida.
Especially with sports that are outside. Here in Florida, it's year-round. Practicing, playing games, scrimmages, things like that. You don't really have to worry about the winter season with snow. Maybe up on the Panhandle a couple days of the year, but nothing to worry about there.
And we'll roll foul. Yeah, good point. A lot of good players in the state of Florida. Oh, nice play. Just to keep that from being a hit and an RBI. Tossi thought better of the throw. Infield single for Nyer. Stanfield on to third. So runners on the corners, 2 out here. Top of the order we go to Dunham. Up and in. Taking third on the indifference, and then safe at home is Macy Stanfield. It is 10-4. Heads up running. You don't always see that work. The little throw to second and then take the run.
Just seems like the game plan the Pioneers
It's been aggressive. Just
bought in
really
today.
aggressive.
Exactly.
Talk about stealing home.
Their base running has been on point today, and most of their offense has developed from those situations.
Take the eye off the prize for a split second, they will punish you. And now more runs that they can shake a stick at as far as insurance. 10-4. And the Titans had the lead. 4-3 at the end of 3. It has been all Pioneers since. And gonna have another one here, perhaps. Getting the signal, no, she'll be held up. Up, and it got away, so the run will score anyway. It's just one of those afternoons in this one. It is now 11-4. Just want to get it out of your system. You want to Taylor Swift this. Just shake it off and come back in the next. And let them get their hits now, and then just shut them down in the second. That has happened in prior series against this team. Just trying to get them to feel overconfident, right?
Maybe take their feet off the gas pedal
exactly.
a little bit in the second game. But I was going to say, I'll be curious to see how the Titans respond to that base running strategy by the Pioneers and see if they make any adjustments heading into the second game of the doubleheader, whether it be defensive assignments or just more communication between the pitcher and the catcher in the infield. Because it's definitely done them in today.
I think if you allow them to earn it, you can live with that. But I'm sure we talked to Coach Pettick afterward. The unearned runs are going to be something she's going to be less than pleased with. Got to take care of business, mind the P's and Q's when you're out there.
Ball.
Such is the game. Torcha. that one alive. Looking to avoid being a strikeout victim for the 4th time. Make that, yeah, 4th.
One ball, 2 strikes.
Strike away from getting out of this inning without any further damage. They put 3 across with the help of some mental errors.
Ball.
As you mentioned, Titans did have a lead in this one, but since then, Pioneers have put up innings of 3 runs, 2 runs, 1, and then 3 runs here in the top of the 7th.
Some crooked numbers. I mean, they have scored in every inning since the 4th. Yeah, 3, 2, 1, and 3. If you're scoring 5 of the 7 innings, you're going to win more than your fair share of games, I would think. Twelfth run of the game at 3rd. Torcha will take that one a ball. 3-2. Stanfield awaits there at 3rd.
3 balls, 2 strikes.
Chopped to 2nd. Gobbled up by Tossi, and it's an error. The run scores. So Dunham, excuse me, is the one that comes around to score on the play. It is 12-4. You think you're getting out of the inning. Well, it was a figure of speech. Get it all out of your system. They are really just trying to do that, it appears. Torch is aboard, reaching on the error.
It's not like the Pioneers are pulling any punches either. We've seen a couple of stolen bases, one resulting in a run where they threw the ball to 2nd and then back to home, but not in time. So
it's a mentality. You're going to play that way to the final called strike or out.
It's always hard to tell athletes, professional, collegiate, to slow it down or ease up. It's just not in their nature.
No.
They're always going to go full speed, 110%.
And a base hit will score another. Here comes run number 13 in the form of Torcha. You know she was going to score from 2nd. And the single from Rowland. Another RBI. Crump is up again.
I don't want to mention it too many times.
5 runs here in the 7th.
But Cassidy Crump with that steal from home earlier, I only mention it again because of how rare it is and how well it was executed.
That was kind of the backbreaker, and it just kind of let the floodgates open further. Again, college athletes have these moments in a season.
You got it, Ari. You got it, baby.
Crump's already committed to play at Flagler next year. Getting a good one. 13-4 ball game.
Yeah, Ari, yeah, baby.
Ball. 3 balls. Three ball count.
At this point in the game, you know, top 7, now the game's pretty much out of hand. You let Ariana Gonzalez work her way out of this one, get that confidence boost. I know a lot of runs have been scored, but always getting that 3rd out.
Gonzalez, the freshman out of Pompano Beach, in the little extended run here in the 7th when, you know, the game really wasn't on the line.
Ball.
And a walk.
Time.
Now welcome, my friends, to the softball game that never ends. It's Been a very long top of the 7th.
Just as I mentioned that. Make a pitching change to try to get that all-elusive third out.
Yes. It'll be, well, Mackenzie Four, who's played this entire game in the field. Actually, she's been the designated player, so I'm sorry, but she's been in that lineup the whole game now. She'll finish it out in the circle.
Mackenzie Ford sporting a 1.75 ERA. Been in 13 all games this year with a 1-1 record.
An innings eater. 40 innings pitched. And you love players with a versatility. You know, on the other side, you have Taylor Roten, who's played the entire game in the outfield. May see her pitch here in this next game. Don't know for sure yet. Those lineups haven't been announced. Versatility is important. And as you look at Coach Pettick, in her first season, now, nobody said building a program's easy, so some good moments this year. She was an assistant at Presbyterian College, which is her alma mater, for the last 3 seasons. Also an assistant at Furman and Coker before that. Native of Fort Lauderdale. She was originally recruited by Ed Yanis to come to Eastern Florida years ago, but she chose Presbyterian instead. But speaks of her hours here on campus, like she was seriously considering coming here. The offer was just a little better, but held the program in high regard, and here she is. So, Division I player at Presbyterian for the Blue Hose, one of the best college nicknames around. Played 4 years, started every game, still holds school records for runs, home runs, RBI, and doubles.
1-1.
So, legendary status at Presbyterian, and trying to do so from the coaching position here at Eastern Florida. But it is a work in progress. Took over a program that went 18-24 last year.
One ball.
So right now, I mean,
2
even with
strikes.
the loss here in this first game of the doubleheader, they'll still be above 500, 22-21, with 7 more games to play if you count the second half of the doubleheader. And a strikeout there from Four, and that mercifully ends the top of the 7th. But 5 more runs come across. Do the Titans have 9 runs in them? We'll find out when we come back here on WEFS. We head to the bottom of the 7th. The Titans, well, it's been a cloudy prognosis here in this first half of the doubleheader, but, you know, you want to keep it positive. You can get 9 runs in an inning, right? It's been done before by somebody somewhere. But an uphill climb, to put it mildly. But you know, I think if you're Shelby Pettick, would you agree? You want to see some momentum to carry into that second game here.
100%. You don't want to see your team kind of hang their head or you know, exhibit negative body language. You want to see them still excited, still cheering on their teammates, maybe get a couple runs here, get that offense rolling. We've seen it snowball in this game. You know, they scored 3 runs in the bottom of the 3rd inning to take the lead back in the 3rd inning, but haven't seen much from them since. It'd be great to head into the second game of the doubleheader with some momentum on their side.
Got a pinch hitter in Addie Lyle here. So Addie, who knows, may be catching the next game. She kind of splits time in the back there with Branch. I'm sorry, with Lamoureux. Wrong team. Out of Lakewood Ranch High School in Sarasota, Lamoureux. Addie Lyle from Carrollton, Georgia. She is a transfer from Presbyterian, where she played with, or was coached by Coach Pettick.
Two balls, 2 strikes.
Lyle, 2 3-hit games this year.
Yes.
Batting .286. And down the line, foul ball. Now another pinch hitter coming up next as well.
You don't want to say they proverbially wave the white flag, but
no, but this is a play I think for the next game. Yeah, Alyssa Agrippa will be next. It's on deck.
With the games being back-to-back, you kind of want to preserve some of that energy.
Yeah. Infield, thrown on to first. Nice stretch there, first for Dunham, and 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th.
That hurt just looking at it. I don't know. I don't have that kind of flexibility, but like you said, impressive play there from Dunham. She's been all over that first base today.
Yeah.
Just a lot of action. You know, ground balls, plays like that, assisted from the second baseman.
Perhaps a sponsorship ahead from a vacuum cleaner company or a magnet company.
Ball.
So here's Agrippa. No batting average to speak of. Has played in 1 game. 1 at-bat. This is her 2nd at-bat.
Ball.
The Titans still chatty.
Ball. A little bit.
It's always a great sign to see. Ignore the scoreboard for a second. You have a teammate up, only her 2nd at-bat of the season. Give her lots of support from the dugout.
So just cover the left eye, and so you don't see the 1, like one of those vision tests, and it's 4-3 and you're in the lead. Bam! Smokes this deep to left, but it's going to drop because it's into the wind. Caught by Torchia and left, and there's 2 away, but solid contact there for the freshman.
As I mentioned, if that went yard, we would have seen the Titans dugout explode.
She may be starting in the next game, so, but took it for a ride, and again into a stiff freeze. If that's out to, if the wind's going the other way, that may be gone. Swung to third. This is Grayson Holland, the 3rd pinch hitter of the inning, and she's retired on 1 pitch, and that will do it. Final score, Indian River 13, Eastern Florida 4. First game of a doubleheader is in the books. We'll be back to wrap it up, at least this game, when we come back on WEFS.
I'm part of SCAP, which is the Space Coast Consortium Apprenticeship Program. What it is, it's an apprenticeship program to get people in the aerospace field and get experience and schooling all at the same time. So I just graduated high school this past May, and I found out about it 2 days after graduation, and my original plan was to go to Eastern Florida and just get a basic AA degree and figure out what I wanted to do from there. I always liked the idea of going into aerospace, but never was sure about engineering itself. So this was a great way to get my career started, even if I choose to go back for engineering or even if I choose to change career paths. This is a 2-year degree that is fully paid for by my company, and it is 4 years of experience in the aerospace industry where I really get to get the experience in the schooling, and if I choose to continue down this path, I can, or if I choose to further my education, go somewhere else, I can also do that.
We are back in Melbourne, 13-4. It goes in game one of this doubleheader as the Pioneers beat the Titans by 9 runs. But Daniel Chiarelli, look, this is a game that the Titans led. They in the, I believe it was the third inning, because the scoreboard's off now, that were able to take the lead 4-3, and then the wheels kind of fell off.
Yeah, the Titans showed their spunkiness, as we like to say, from the coach, and it's nothing to hang their heads on. Indian River has one of the best offenses in the conference. You know, we talked about their base running ability, whether it be stealing bases or just playing the infield. So nothing to hang your hat on. The great thing about a doubleheader is they have a quick meeting, and they're right back at it, hopefully catching a W from Indian River and evening the season series at 4 games apiece.
Well, Daniel, they did just that. A couple of weeks back, they lost the first one heavy and then won the second. So we'll see if they can do it again. Pioneers and Titans done with one. They'll play a second. Come on out. Give this team a try, if you will. So for our entire crew, I'm Jeff Radcliffe. Thanks, Daniel Chiarelli, and our producer, Brian Foster, and everybody else. We'll see ya next time. Titans lose 13-4. Good night.